Often when people are thinking about moving to South Carolina, some of their biggest interests are the beaches, the lakes, and a lot of the just natural beauty that exists in our state. Whenever we think about lakefront living that is within 30 minutes of downtown Greenville, there's three really amazing options that I want to share with you. Hi, I'm Evan Whaley, your favorite Greenville realtor. Let's get into our first option, Lake Robinson. This is a absolutely stunning lake. Whenever you're there, you actually have the backdrop of the Blue Ridge Mountains in the background. It is just absolutely stunning and breathtaking to have a lake, have the mountains in the backdrop, and it just feels so peaceful. The great thing about this lake is that it's very clean. It's actually used as a drinking water reservoir. So that does put some limitations on the lake. So if you're someone that wants to do some high-powered motor, or you want to do jet skiing, or you want to swim in the lake, that's not an option here. But if you're someone who really loves the natural beauty and you want to see a really amazing backdrop, it's going to be really hard to beat this lake. There's some really phenomenal communities that actually connect to the lake. One of my favorite is Still Waters at Lake Robinson. This was developed mostly by a custom builder in the area. They did a really wonderful job with this community where they actually strategically put houses in certain locations so that they can maximize the view for everyone. There's panoramic views of the lake in that community. It's a gated community as well.
Lake Robinson at Still Waters, just to get an idea of how the houses look here. You've got everything from Charlestonian style houses, which are located higher up on the hill, to some of your more modern looks, and you've got all brick ranch style homes. So there's a variety in this community. You have some on the backside of the neighborhood that have a little bit larger lots. As you can see, there's still some construction going on here. And the lake is directly behind me, just to kind of get a feel for how close we are to the lake. I'm actually parked in the community parking lot for where the pool and everything is at. The community amenities at Still Waters at Lake Robinson. They have a nice, beautiful pool which overlooks the lake. They have this covered area as well where you could do barbecuing. They have bathrooms for both men and women here. And they've got this fire pit that's directly behind me. Over here, you'll see community kayaks and just an entrance to the lake where there's a community dock. All down here. Still Waters at Lake Robinson too. Here's where all the community kayaks and the dock is at. Nice beautiful view of the mountains. Lake ends over there. You got great green space here that is maintained by the community. So behind me is the pool. Covered area.
The community. Some other things that really make this community unique beyond just the amazing architecture. They have a walking trail in the community. There's kayaks that you can just go and take out for the day. There's a pool, and there is an area for the whole community to gather. Due to how the community is set up, everyone there actually has lake access, which makes this a really unique community.
And this is another Lake Robinson community called Blue Ridge Plantation. There's actually two sides of it. One side is the side that we're going to now, which faces out towards the lake. Just going to drive through this here. A lot of brick homes in this community. This is new construction as well. So most of these have been built within the last 3 to 4 years. There's still a few lots remaining in this community. And it's a larger community, so they do have homes that come up for resale as well. And that up in front of us is actually Lake Robinson, so that you can see the lake and you get the view of the mountains in the background. That is the lake right there. So we're driving all along it. See, here's still construction going on. More views of the lake. Closer towards the bottom of the hill, we have some concrete plank or hardy board siding, as some people typically will refer to it. The style homes.
They're built up with elevation so that you can see the lake. This is a nice community. The homes are a little bit more affordable over here than they are in Stillwater's. Uh, as you can see, you don't quite get the same level of views. They didn't build this community with the same design in mind of everyone really having access and a view of the lake. What is nice about this community, you do have sidewalks on this side over here. So if you wanted to, walk kids or dogs or whatever, you do have that sidewalk there that you can use. And this community is built more just kind of like a U shape, and then there's streets that are in between that. And they are adding on, you might be able to see through some of this video here, there's some red clay, which is popular here in South Carolina when we're building. This was one of those side streets on the backside over here of this neighborhood. So behind these homes here, you'll see that they're continuing to add on and build and develop that area. So there'll be even more homes in the future over here. But there's a few lots that are still remaining. That's kind of the gist of that neighborhood. Again, there's a few side streets that you can go down and see, and you can see over here, this is where they're continuing to do developing, and where they're going to add on even more homes in the future. Stillwater's at Lake Robinson does offer a few lakefront properties, but if you're looking for more options, there's another community that you should be aware of. The other community is Hammond Point. What makes Hammond Point really special, it is a mature, developed community. It's been there for about 30 years. It has some really amazing architecture, and of course, you get lakefront living and you get this really incredible view on this really amazing lake that I've already discussed. If you're looking for a lake option that gives you a little bit more flexibility of doing skiing and some of the other activities that Lake Robinson doesn't offer you, then Lake Lyman could be a really great option for you. What makes Lake Lyman really special is you're still 30 minutes from downtown Greenville. You're kind of tucked in between Greenville and Spartanburg, making it a great way to commute from one place or the other. I've had clients that have lived in that area before, and they really appreciate the lake because it just has the more casual tone to it, and you still get some really incredible views depending on where you're at in the lake. There are several communities that connect to Lake Lyman. Some of them aren't official neighborhoods, and I think ultimately the best way to serve you in finding your best Lake Lyman home is to actually reach out to us directly. And our third option on the list is Lake Cunningham. Lake Cunningham is the smallest of all the lakes. It has the similar restrictions that Lake Robinson has, and typically when you look up the rules and regulations, they have the exact same rules and regulations. It's also used for clean drinking water. Lake Cunningham offers a really beautiful lake because, of course, they're keeping it clean, they're keeping it pristine. The other thing is it's a little bit closer to town, so people really appreciate it. It's really close to a community called O'Neill Village, which is a master plan community that's going to have close to 1,000 homes whenever it's completed. People really appreciate it because of the accessibility of Lake Cunningham and just knowing that you're closer to all of the action. So that makes it a really attractive option from that standpoint. All of these lakes do have public access. Lake Cunningham probably has the best public access of all the lakes that I mentioned. When you look at Lake Cunningham, for the most part, most people are not living lakefront here, but most people live in communities that surround the lake. And there's some really great options there. And it really would just depend on what you're looking for. So this is another one where you probably want to reach out to us directly, so I'm not giving you a ton of different communities that may not fit your needs. So there you have it, 3 really great options if you want to be near a lake here in the upstate. If you want to learn more, reach out to us directly. We have our relocation guide where we share even more information about these lakes.